Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Martin with The Contoured Chemist, and it's a skincare day. Today we are going to be talking about exfoliation, exfoliants, physical versus chemical exfoliants, how you can pick the right exfoliant for your skincare routine, different types of acid, and kind of how to know what your best options are depending on your skincare goals. So if you want to check it out, please keep watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for being here. Hi friends. All right guys, let's talk exfoliation. I can honestly say that when I discovered really what kind of exfoliant to use for my skin saw more results from an exfoliant, specifically an acid, than anything else I introduced into my routine. And that's because you can get a really fast result when you start incorporating the right acids for your skin type. And I feel like the word acid scares people so much when you think about putting acid on your face. I guess as a chemist, I just don't get scared by the word because these are like good acids. So, like, give me all the acids on my face, especially because I was very late to the game when it came to getting in a good skincare regimen. I wasn't using these things till I was probably 34. And I am asked every day, how do you get that glow, that luminosity to your skin naturally without faking it with makeup and glowing products? My number one recommendation would be exfoliants. Exfoliants are key, especially if you have more mature skin like me. I think they say your skin cells turn over every about 30 days, but every year after 30, they slow down by more and more days. And so by the time you hit 40, you really have to help that process along. That glow will not be there naturally without some extra help. So that is why you need an exfoliant in your routine. It removes that dead skin off the surface of your face. It will decrease the look of that dullness, texture, huge. And that goes not just like scarring, rough and bumpies, but like even when you get into texture of wrinkles and fine lines, it can help those things look minimized. It helps to fade those scars and helps to fade dark spots, which is one of the reasons why I got into it. I got a lot of dark spots, really help lighten those dark spots on the surface of the skin. So first up is the difference between physical and chemical. Do not be scared of the word chemical. Chemical exfoliants are good. Physical is what you probably started with. That is anything that requires manual exfoliation. So think the good old-fashioned St. Ives scrub that we all used on our face. Please throw that away if that is still in your stash. We all probably know how bad that is for our skin now, but back then, that's what I started with. So think anything with scrubs. Nowadays, they're more like microcrystallines. They don't even put the little micro beads in them anymore because of the environment. So salt, sugar scrubs, that's all physical. It requires your hand to be manually doing some kind of action to kind of rub that dead skin off of the surface of the skin. Tool, brush, mitt. So I have used lots of different silicone brushes, Clarisonics over the years. I love my Dermasuri mitt for like the body that kind of balls up the dead skin. Dermaplaning, shaving your face, that is considered a manual exfoliation. Microdermabrasion, if you've ever used anything like that. So all of that is physical, means it depends on the user and it depends on the pressure applied, which is more or less the biggest con, because you can shave your face with a razor really gently and cause no harm, or you can do what I did the other day, and I literally took so much dead skin off of some areas of my face that I'm trying to heal a damaged barrier, because again, I used a new razor and I applied too much pressure. And so there is a little bit more of a risk when you're using something like that. I'm not a big fan of Clarisonic brushes. They totally jacked up my face. They definitely harbor bacteria. I do like the silicone ones because they are gentle. So something that can be really gentle is a whole nother story. I love some physical exfoliators, just not all. And I will get into some examples as we talk more specific on products. You guys know me, I have rosacea, I have sensitive skin. So when I discovered that physical scrubs, like face scrubs, were not doing me any favors because they just aggravated my rosacea, it was a game changer. So enter acids or chemical exfoliants. Chemical ones work very differently in that they actually will break the bonds in between skin cells. So they will dissolve this bond, and so that your skin can naturally shed faster and easier. It doesn't take any kind of aggressive force. That's anything from AHAs, alpha hydroxy acids, we have beta hydroxy acids, BHAs, and then even PHAs, polyhydroxy acids. So in order of strength, AHAs are the strongest, but there's a bunch of different acids that are AHAs. So we got glycolic, lactic, citric, malic, mandelic, all of those are AHAs, and they have different strengths as well. Some are stronger, some are gentler. Some are better for some things and some are better for other things. So I'm gonna get into the specifics in a second. So you know what to look for. BHAs are what we think of when it comes to acne. Those are the ones that don't just break the cells, but they are oil soluble, meaning they can go down deep into the pore and clear out congestion like sebum. So those are the only ones that are really perfect for acne. You can't expect the AHAs to be able to get out that congestion. BHA is a gold star when it comes to acne prone skin. PHAs are the weakest of the three, and they are actually my favorite because they are the weakest. They're actually a large molecule, which just means they can't absorb as fast into the skin, so they're gonna be gentle, okay? So just remember, the smaller the molecule is, the faster it can like go deeper into the skin, and it causes more sensitivity. So those larger molecules don't. PHAs are great examples of this, like Gluconolactone. It is my favorite, and it's actually a hydrating ingredient as well. And so if you have rosacea, PHAs will be your friend. Now, a couple of other ones I do want to mention. They're not technically acids, but they are more on the chemical side than the physical, and that is catalytic agents like enzymes, urea, things that also speed up skin cell turnover. They just work in different ways. So you'll see a lot of times, and I'm going to show you a lot of examples, a lot of these things are formulated together. So something might be an AHA as the star component, but has a lot of different enzymes, like fruit enzymes. Think of papaya and lemon and mandarin, different things like that, that actually will also help. Enzymes, though, are gentler on the skin than typical AHAs. Urea is a great one. You'll see that in a lot of lotions. I love a good urea lotion because, again, it's something that's very gentle, but yet you can use it if you have, chicken skin on the back of your arms, and over time it's gonna slowly exfoliate and help that skin cell turnover faster. Okay, first things first, how do you incorporate an acid into your routine in a very safe, easy way? I feel like I've learned so much about exfoliants because I have tested a lot. And let me just tell you, I have a lot to share with you, and I have even more that I didn't bring. I brought my very favorites because I wanted to show you guys different types in each category, different acids, what would be good for what type of skin and what you're looking for, because what's my favorite might not be yours. You don't have sensitive skin and acne is your biggest issue. Some of the ones that are too strong for me would be maybe perfect for you, okay? So let's talk a little bit about incorporating it. If you have never used any type of an exfoliant, I would recommend starting with this one that I've talked about a gazillion times. It is technically a physical, you guys might not think that, and it is my most recommended product of all time because I do think it will work for any skin type, any age. My daughter uses it, my kids use it, my husband uses it who has dermatitis. And this is like the only thing that is gentle enough, never will expose like your skin barrier or anything like that. And you can use it as often as you want. You don't have to worry about any kind of sensitivity like you can with some acids. And this is my empty bottle I just pulled out because I just ordered a replacement. I can't count how many times I've ordered one, and I will link the specific one I order every time because there are a lot of fake ones on Amazon, unfortunately. This is Natural Aqua Gel Cure. I've heard a bottle sells over in Japan every second, and I understand why. I'm shocked that more people don't talk about it because it is literally the most incredible thing for my sensitive skin, and I know some of you guys love it too. The key is just knowing how to use it, which can be confusing because like my bottle is in Japanese, but it is technically a physical exfoliant. The way it works is it is a gommage, which is pretty much the name for a formulation that balls up on itself. It's like a polymer type formulation. And yes, I've even done the research and looked at studies proving that there's dead skin in the balls. But when it balls up, it is not 100% dead skin, okay? So know that when some of the naysayers are like, that's not dead skin, some of it is, okay? So what happens is you put it on dry skin, clean and very dry, like bone dry skin, and you just start rubbing it after a few seconds. Like I let mine sit, I put a pump on my forehead, a pump on my cheeks, and a pump on my nose and chin, and then sometimes also a pump down my neck. That is how much I'm like generous with this, and I let it kind of sit, and then I start just like rubbing it. And I do this in the shower because it's messy. I just make sure I don't touch the water first. And I just rub my entire face until I can't feel it balling up anymore, and your entire face will be covered in what feels like balled up dead skin. Now, if you've used it and you were bone dry, I noticed that even if my hands are slightly wet, it won't ball up the same. It's like it inactivates the formula. So just know, dry, 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 keep rubbing. And I promise you, if you do it that way, you will not be able to deny that this doesn't work. It is absolutely incredible. And I never have irritation. I'm not red after. And let me tell you, every single one of these other products, I do get a little red because my face literally turns red when I touch it. But this is like magic for me. I've been using it for over 7 years, and I'll never use another physical exfoliant. This is the only one I can use. It is not St. Ives apricot scrub. It doesn't use anything gritty. There's no sugar, nothing in it. It is like a gel, and it's incredible. So if you learn one thing from this, if you don't have any exfoliant, I would start with this. It's gentle, will work for anyone. Okay. Now, if you've tried that, you love it, but you want something maybe daily use, not messy, this would be my favorite cleanser. I always say, if you haven't, if you're not wanting to dive into like a full exfoliation ritual, try a cleanser first. Cleansers are so safe because they wash off, for one. And a lot of time it's that short contact therapy. Now, this one is actually a physical exfoliant. There's multiple kinds from this brand. I like this one because it is a calming version. I think they have like 3 or 4 different ones. This is just the small one I got to try because, again, physical exfoliation is not always my friend. This one works really great, and I've tried multiple cleansing powders, and this is definitely my favorite. So this is a powder exfoliant, but it's a cleanser. So what you do is you you put it on, okay? And then you get it wet, and then you start rubbing it around. Now, technically it is, what am I gonna do with this? Technically it is a physical exfoliant because it uses these really microcrystalline bits in order to, but it like develops into this like really nice lather and exfoliates. But this is the oat version because this one has more calming ingredients and they have different ones. Like polishing the skin. This is going to be a very gentle, but like say you are like, okay, I woke up, my face is a little red, but yet feels dry and looks dull. I need a little bit of exfoliation. I don't want my face to get like bright red or anything like that. This is be like what I would pick up and use that morning. So this is a great option if you're a little scared of physical exfoliants, or maybe you have sensitive skin. You don't want a scrub like St. Ives or plastic beady. I find that majority of those type of products don't smooth my skin in the same way as something like these do, because like it depends on where the little beads are, and if you're not like doing it across the entire surface, and like I feel like some parts get exfoliated, some parts don't. It's just not my favorite. So I typically don't grab, I have so many and I don't ever grab them, but this is every 3 days in the shower, I will use something like this. This is when I need it, when I need a little bit of buffing action. If you're like, okay, Sarah, I don't just need a cleanser, I want an actual treatment type step. You will find most of your exfoliants are kind of in that toner category. But the confusing part is there's so many toners now that aren't exfoliating toners, and now you can find exfoliants for virtually any step in the process. We've got toners, serums, moisturizers, pads, a lot of pads, and even masks, more like treatment masks, and cleansers. So really understanding what the ingredients are, like I always say, in the product you're using is key. And I will be honest with you, until I was researching some of the ingredients of these, some of them I didn't realize had so many acids in them. Some of them are like blends of 5 different acids, and I'm like, no wonder this one is too strong for me to use very often, and this one I can use more often without sensitivity. It all makes sense if you actually look at the ingredients, which is why take my own advice. Look at your ingredient labels. First thing, it can tell you a lot about a product. How high it is up on the ingredient list will tell you how much of that acid is in it. Never used one before. I recommend starting very slowly for any of these that I'm about to show you, except for, yeah, actually all of them, except for the ones I just showed. And I'll show you a couple more that are gentle category that you might not need to start just once a week. But for the rest of them, if it is in the strong acid category, when I start talking about glycolic, salicylic, if you have more dry to sensitive skin, those I'd say you all always want to start once a week, one time a week. Then the next week you can add 2 days and build up to it just like you would a retinoid product. And then you don't necessarily, in my opinion, you don't need to exfoliate every day. I think 1 to 3 times a week is fine, depending on the product you choose and how strong it is. Now, if you're using a very gentle product, like some of them I'm gonna show you that I can use every day, I still don't use them every day, but I use them every few days as needed, but I could use them every day, if that makes sense. You choose a strong, more of a treatment type product, just know that's gonna be once a week. So if your goal is like, I just wanna do it once a week, Sarah, and be done with it, then you're gonna look for more of the treatment. If you want to use it more on the daily, you might want one of the weaker ones, and then you might be right in the middle. So it can kind of determine, you know, how often you are looking to use and what specific acid you're gonna look for in these products. How often are you willing to use an exfoliant? And that can also determine what type of product you use, because I feel like the pads, for example, are very convenient to just grab one and swipe all over. kind of moisturize and be done. Whereas some people don't like something like that because it creates waste. So it's all personal preference. Now, just know that if you go in hot and heavy, over exfoliation is a huge thing. You're gonna damage your barrier. It's gonna lead to irritation, dryness, peeling, and can even lead to increase of breakouts. And so I know I have been victim of this, that I was like, oh, I love this. And I use one of these products too much the first week. And I'm like, ooh, and then I know like that one is too strong for my skin. So don't learn from your mistakes like I did. This is one of the reasons why I got started into skincare cycling, is what they call it. Pretty much when you do one part of your cycle, which is like, I'm gonna have a retinoid night, and then the next night I'm gonna have an exfoliation night. Then I'm gonna give myself a barrier night, which is pretty much a day off of just hydrating and soothing ingredient. That way you can just repeat that cycle. It's very easy to remember, what did I do last night? I'm gonna do the next thing. And so it's not gonna lead to that over irritation because you're not using it with other actives. So you don't really want to use an active ingredient, meaning something like a retinoid, vitamin C, other acids. You don't wanna use them all at the same time, again, because it can increase irritation. Now, it's very different when the product you choose is formulated like that. So if you pick an acid that has a vitamin C in it, because there are some that do, then that's fine. But don't try to mix, meaning put on a vitamin C and then go in with an acid. That can cause too much. If you don't understand the formulation and the percentages of what you're using, I don't recommend using them in the same time during the same routine. You can do one in the morning, like use your vitamin C in the morning, and then use your exfoliant at night, or skip that night and go to the next day. And as always, exfoliants are gonna cause that dead skin to turn over. So what do you need? Because you need it every single day anyway. You need daily sunscreen. Don't forget your sunscreen, especially if you decide to be a morning exfoliant user, which I find some people do if they like using like an exfoliating toner. Okay, to the nitty gritty, I wanna share lots of examples of the different types, acids, who would use them, what you're looking for, and some great ones that I have tried and tested. I couldn't decide if I wanted to do this by type of product or ingredient. So we're gonna go with ingredient, and we're gonna go weakest to strongest. So hopefully it's not as confusing. First thing is, I'm gonna go over a couple that are just enzymes, like I said. But a lot of these, and I'll try to specifically say, a lot of these have, like a lot of these acid formulations also have a lot of fruit enzymes. So fruit enzyme ferments also help skin cell turnover. Okay, so I have shared this one numerous times. This is one of my favorite enzyme products that I can physically feel an exfoliation happening. Love this one. It's Glow Recipe Papaya Sorbet Enzyme Cleansing Balm. Okay, so this one definitely you're gonna be able to see exfoliation. It's not stripping, it's not too much, it's never irritated my skin. So this is one of my favorites if I'm like, oh, my skin just, I feel like my makeup's a little heavy and I really wanna like take it off and exfoliate at the same time, I will always grab this one. And some of these are kind of like 2-in-1 products. So this one is a new to me. This is Josh Rosenbrook Active Enzyme Exfoliator. This is a mask. So this one will be a treatment. You would only use this once a week. But this one is more of like physical and chemical, but it's just an enzyme. It's nothing strong. So it actually has this kind of gritty, it looks, I'll be honest, it kind of looks like you wipe poop all over your face, but it works really well. It's very earthy, so if that's not something you like, I don't recommend it. But it is almost, it's just all the natural stuff in there. It is gritty though, okay? So I put this on like a mask all over my face, and then I very gently rubbed after I let it sit for like 15, 20 minutes. And my skin was so smooth. And I could have probably gone a little bit more with but I didn't want to irritate my skin. But it didn't irritate me, and it was really nice. And it's those enzymes. You gotta kind of let those enzymes work. And then you don't have to necessarily rub it afterwards if you don't want the physical part, but it's kind of a bridge between the two. Now, one thing I've noticed in a lot of these is the addition of these new ferments. So I can't ever pronounce this, but Saccharomyces ferment is the newest one you'll see in a lot of products. This is the Ordinary's, their new milky toner. You guys know I love a milky toner. So it is considered a gentle exfoliating toner. I would say I didn't notice a huge difference of exfoliation after one use, but I would say this is a great one to start with if you're scared of exfoliants and you want to kind of baby step into it. This would be something that I think anyone could use daily and you're not gonna get any irritation. It's a really great milky toner and I feel like it's hydrating at the same time. All right, let's start with my favorite acid, Gluconolactone, if I can say that right. This one is a hydrating acid. It's a PHA. Remember what I said? This is a big molecule. So it's going to be slow to absorb into your skin. It is great for rosacea, eczema, sensitive skin, dry skin, mature skin. I love seeing PHA in anything. If I see PHA, I know I can use it every day. And that's saying something because I have pretty sensitive skin. So you guys have seen me use this numerous times. This is my favorite exfoliant toner. I can use it every day. Now, obviously, if you've never used one before, I'd say start slow. But this is Mandelic Press and Glow Daily Exfoliating PHA Tonic with Enzyme Activator. Like I said, guys, most of them have multiple ingredients in their formulations to just kind of speed up that without adding sensitivity. And so that's what I feel like you're seeing in a lot of products right now. As formulation gets better, they know they can add an enzyme or a ferment and it's gonna help without causing irritation. I love the packaging. It's so easy to just use with a cotton round, swipe it all over. New to me one, and this was recently sent to me and I've been using it every day since I got it. And I know why I like it, because it is a glycerin-based cleanser with PHA, and they're brand new, I can ever say, Malicyl, which is their patented ingredient for dark spots. And I was so excited. I didn't know they had a cleanser. So this is again, gluconolactone. So it is a very gentle exfoliant, but I would say its very first ingredient is glycerin. It's a hydrating, like I was like, ooh, should I try this? Because my skin has been very sensitive these last few days. And so I was like, well, let's try. And it was not stripping at all. It was very hydrating considering it is also exfoliating at the same time. I could tell a difference in the exfoliation, even just using this one. Very, very happy with this. Here's a recent find from Typology. This is actually a serum designed to get rid of dark marks. So I have several right now from post-acne, okay? There are two different types of post-acne marks. You either get dark, which you get PIH, which is post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, meaning it turns dark in color like a brown spot, or you get PIE, which is post-inflammatory erythema, which is red. And what happens to me, lucky me, mine turn red and then they turn dark. So I got this to see if it would help. It is a mark fading serum with PHA at 14% and Centella asiatica, which you guys know is my favorite. And I love the little dropper because it's got this little flat end and you can just literally just touch it to your mark and use it every night to kind of slowly fade. It's gonna slowly increase that skin cell turnover without irritating. And then that centella is gonna calm, especially if you get red like me, it's gonna calm that mark and get that dead skin. You guys know how like after a blemish, it's like just dead skin upon dead skin and it just won't ever go away. Yeah, I've been dealing with those a lot lately. So this is another PHA product. And let me just tell you, after all the research for all of these things, I appreciate so much when companies put the percentages of acids on the labels, because I think that was why I was overusing some of these products, because I had no idea the percent. A general rule of thumb is if it is over 10%, higher than 10%, know that it's going to be more of a treatment, or you're gonna have to only use it maybe once a week, as opposed to 10% or lower, which is gonna be way more gentle, and you'll be able to use it more often. Okay. Order of strength. The next one I'm gonna go over is Mandelic, which I didn't actually have on my list before, but I found 2 products in my stash that are Mandelic, and I would say it is stronger than PHA, but not as strong as the next one. I do find it very gentle, and so if you're like, okay, Sarah, give me a strong acid that's actually gonna really turn over skin cells a little bit maybe faster than something like a PHA that's daily, I would recommend something like this. So this is Stradia's Soft Touch AHA, and it's a 10% Mandelic acid serum. Now, the cool thing about serums is that you can easily just put this on first in your serum step. So wash, if you want to tone, put this on, lock it in with a moisturizer, and you're good. This one is definitely resurfacing, but it is one of the gentlest serums I've ever used. That is, like, I used this the first time and I wasn't sensitive after, and I can't say that about most of these products, okay? So if you're looking for an exfoliant, I highly recommend this one from Stradia. I found that my other typology product I have was, I don't know why I keep picking up their acids, but I guess I do, is their lip peel, which is 2% mandelic acid, and again, pomegranate enzyme. So again, an enzyme plus that acid. This one is a product I've shown before, but I love this one. It's just kind of like in a little lip thing, and you just put it on. It doesn't like taste weird or like burn or anything like that, but it can kind of help speed up that skin cell turnover of your lips, which is a little bit harder than the rest of your face, but more sensitive. So you need something definitely in that weaker category. So Mandelic is a great choice for that. All right, so the next one is one of my favorite acids ever, and it is derived from milk. Do you guys remember? I grabbed a new one. This is the mask, but if you guys have any of the Saint line, if you remember when it used to all be called milk, so we have the cream and even the mask, all of this has cultured skim milk, and this acid is derived from milk. This is why all of our Saint products, even the cleanser, are gently exfoliating, because they all have lactic acid. So lactic is a gentler than the next one. I would say it is the very best if you have dry skin. So if you have dry skin, you want to look for lactic acid products. I wouldn't say it's the best for acne or oily skin, or even scarring. So those are going to be other ones. All right. Favorite products for this, because it is mainly lactic with some of those other things I was talking about. It has a triple enzyme formulation and also a ferment to help with exfoliation. So these are the Elemis Dynamic Resurfacing Facial Pads. I see people talk all the time about using these every single day, and now I understand why I can use them more often, because they're lactic based, not glycolic, which is most of them. So if you're looking for a gentler pad, this would be my first choice if you're not haven't been doing acids in your routine, I would try this one. It's really good. And you can work your way up to using it every day if you need to. Oh, I love this one so much. Okay, so this is another lactic base. Now this one is, again, a compilation because it has lactic acid. This is the Cashmere Peel Gentle Exfoliating AHA and PHA Toner, because it has lactic acid and it has gluconolactone. It's hydrating. This one is kind of like designed, in my opinion, for dark spots, which is probably why I like it. It is very hydrating. Speed up skin cell turnover. It's not super strong, but it is a amazing milky texture, but it's like a thicker milky texture. It's not as runny as like this one is. It is glorious. So it has rice water. You guys know my obsession with rice water. It has colloidal oatmeal, which this one, oat for calming, azelaic acid. So azelaic acid is one of the best things for, it's not an exfoliating acid like the ones we're talking about. Hyaluronic acid, also not exfoliating just because it has the word acid. Hyaluronic is a humectant, draws water into the skin. Azelaic acid is really good at calming inflammation, so it's great for rosacea, and it's also really great for dark spots. And this also has tranexamic acid, which you'll see in a lot of these products, again, because exfoliating acids, one of their main purposes is to kind of get rid of that darkened skin on the surface and remove dark spots. Tranexamic acid is also a really great ingredient for dark spots. I just use this on a cotton pad, sweep it across my face. I love that they don't tell you to use this every day. I also found when going through a lot of these, so many say to use every day. And I'm like, no, I could never use that every day. So remember, sometimes packaging isn't the most accurate. Always start slow. No matter what your skin type, start slow. The next one is also mainly lactic, but going into our next category. And I really like this one. It can be a little bit strong for me to use. They call it an overnight resurfacing peel. So this one is, I don't know if you can see it. This is the newer formulated one. Kombucha plus 10% AHA power exfoliant from youth to the people. So it is, and it tells you, thank you, I appreciate it, 7% lactic, I don't know if you can see that, and 3% glycolic. So that's what makes up the total of 10, meaning it's not super strong in the glycolic, and this is why it's a little bit more hydrating, not as strong as what we're gonna talk about next. Okay, so this one's good if you have a little bit more sensitive skin, maybe you have dry skin, but you're also looking for something to do a little bit more help with dark spots or anti-aging, because glycolic is the best for us mature skin. And it's the one my skin can't tolerate as easily. So let's get into glycolic. Oh, The Ordinary. This is the one that made glycolic acid so famous. So the glycolic acid, 7% toning solution from The Ordinary. I remember getting messages when I first shared this about people who were frying their faces off because they were trying to use it every day. Glycolic is the strongest of all the AHAs because it is the smallest molecule, meaning it can go deepest into our skin. Now, that also means it's the best for dark spots, the best for skin cell turnover, the best for mature skin, unfortunately, but not the best for sensitive skin. Cool thing about glycolic and why I still to this day am incorporating it wherever I can is because increase collagen synthesis. Again, why it's best for mature skin. And also help hydrate over time as well. I find, depending on your skin type, some people, it does dry them out. If I was to try to use this every single day for a week, my skin would be so red and so flaky. So again, it's just because my skin's not used to that level, right? This is probably your cheapest bet. If you want to try this once a week, maybe go up to a couple days a week, you might be perfectly fine with just using this. Now, this isn't just glycolic acid. It's definitely formulated with aloe and all kinds of other things in it because it's only a 7% solution. So technically this is about the same as this as far as glycolic, but this is actually going to be stronger because it also has lactic. So just know that you're looking at total percentage of acids. There's no other acids in this one. Okay, so this one would be a little bit stronger. That's why it's considered a resurfacing peel, not necessarily a daily toner. Okay, this one I think they say is daily, but I would not recommend this. It's ideally at night, again, because it causes sun sensitivity, no more frequently than once per day. Don't use this every day. Unless your skin is just like powerhouse. Some people I'm sure can, not me. If you want to start with glycolic acid, I am obsessed with this cleanser. Anytime I'm like, man, my skin needs a reboot. I feel so dry, flaky, or just dull and instantly want to get my glow back, I will use this and then I will layer up some hydrating toners and I will be back, baby. This is so good. It's a glycolic gel to foam cleanser by, I think it's TPNR. Oh no, sorry, TRNR Skin. I'll link it down below. I don't know the percentage of glycolic in this, but I'm telling you, this is a great cleanser. Think short contact therapy. If you're using an acid, and you're using a active acid like this in a cleanser form, an active cleanser, you put it on, let it sit a minute, then wash it off. That's what short contact therapy is, and it will give you the benefits of that acid in a short time. But since you're washing it off, it's not going to continuously break those bonds and again cause sensitivity. This has never made me sensitive, and I feel like I can instantly tell results from it. So I highly recommend this one. Oh, I love this one. Now, this is not a daily cleanser. Oh gosh, please hear me on this. You don't want to use this every single day. In my opinion, I wouldn't be able to. Again, I don't know your skin type, but in my opinion, it's not a daily one. It's like a couple times a week for sure. Let's get into a couple of serums. I would say if I want an overnight glow up to my skin and I feel like I just need an exfoliation, I will grab this serum, but it is strong. Now, it doesn't cause me sensitivity, but man, my skin looks great the next day. This is the La Roche-Posay Glycolic B5 Dark Spot Correcting Exfoliating Brightening. It's got 10% glycolic acid and tranexamic acid, which is why it is so great for dark spots. This baby is strong. So if you like a serum texture, oh, it looks all nasty, but I swear it is strong and it works. It doesn't take much. It's one of the best, I'd say, serums to give you instantaneous, just exfoliation. If you want something a little bit not as strong, I don't know the percentage of this one, and say you want an all-in-one, say you don't want to, maybe you don't want to have to do your vitamin C at a different time, you can look for products that are formulated with multiple ingredients. The reason why they usually are is because usually, like this one, for example, has vitamin C. It is a vitamin C derivative, which is why it's not going to react. So this is Pacifica Glow Baby Booster Serum, and it's got both glycolic acid and vitamin C. So you're gonna get both of those benefits in one product. And this one is not super sensitizing in my opinion. So again, wish I knew the percentage, but I don't. Like this one, the first time I used this, I was like, okay, I 100%, I've shared this many times, appreciate the packaging of this one so much because it has the full ingredient label, very in-depth directions about if you have dry skin, start with twice a week, normal skin, 3 times a week, oily skin, daily. I could not use this every day. Where's sensitive skin? I don't see sensitive. Maybe that's my problem. But it is glycolic acid, which is not on the like front, but the ingredients are on the back. So this is Dr. Denise Advanced Firming Facial Pads. And I do feel like these are amazing. They definitely have glycolic acid as the first ingredients. It's got aloe to soothe, it's got rice, oat protein, some peptides, glycerin is in it to kind of help, but it also has ascorbic acid. So this one also has vitamin C, but it's formulated in a way that you can use them together. Maybe that's why it's a little bit more sensitizing for me, because straight ascorbic is a little sensitizing for me. So it pretty much tells you do not use with Retin-A, which is prescription retinoids. So I appreciate the education on the bottle. I really do like these. Me personally, I can use them a few times a week at the most. Now, this one is a new to me discovery by Wise Beauty. This is Molly Sims skincare line, and I was pleasantly surprised. Now, this packaging, it is massive. Look at that. Can you tell how? I thought this was big. This is massive. Not the best to travel with, so if you're a traveler, but the pads in here are really great, so I had to share. They're super big. Look at that. Because I hate when I have a pad and I don't feel I can get my whole face, but they have this pocket. So you can put them on your finger and use both sides, and both sides have the little scrubby things. I love the size. So I get the size of the container has to be bigger because those are big pads. This one's got good labels, sensitive skin, 2 to 3 times a week. I do feel like this one is way more gentler than this. This one is glycolic. Oh, so this, sorry, this, and I love the names of her products. Your favorite exfoliating pads. So this is glycolic, but it also has gluconolactone, which is the PHA, and then it has grape extract to also help. So one of those enzymes. So it's got multiple, but like glycolic is the star, but it's not in it so strong that I feel like this one is stronger for, maybe it's because it also has vitamin C in it. But this one I can use more often. I'll be honest, I tend to like grab this in the mornings. Obviously I put sunscreen on after, but I really like this because of like a fresh slate. It's a clean slate. You guys know what I mean. If I feel like I need it, I've really been enjoying this. So out of all of these, the most sensitive, I'd say start with the wash off. Then I would recommend the Wise. Then it would be the serum, this guy, then that. So if that helps you in order of what I think would be strength, I feel like that kind of helps when you don't know percentages. It is so hard to judge, and my skin's so sensitive, I can usually help by experimenting. Oh, I forgot one. Okay, this next one is definitely the strongest because it is a treatment. So again, this would be a once a week. So I think I have talked about this before. This is the Dr. Idris Flash Mask, Major Fade Flash Mask. And it just says exfoliating AHA mask. It does have facts on the back: glycolic acid, lactic acid, tranexamic acid, and glycerin. And so when I was looking, luckily it doesn't say it on here, but online they at least have percentages. So this is a 15% glycolic. So that tells you it's over 10%. This is gonna be a weekly treatment. Then it has 3% lactic. So this one was 7 lactic, 3 glycolic. This one, very strong. And it's got glycerin in it to kind of counteract some of the drying effects of those things to kind of hydrate. I do really like this. I have tried many treatments, acids. Like I like not having to do an acid all the time. Like say I was lazy that week and I wasn't really skin cycling, or I wanted to use my retinoid more, my skin didn't feel like it needed a recovery day. And so then I just on the weekend needed to kind of rejuvenate my skin by doing an acid treatment to help the skin cell turnover. That's when I would pick up one of these. So I do really like this, just 10 minutes, and then you can work your way up from there. Now, you guys have probably seen, I've used this one for many, many years. In fact, I'm like out of this one. This is the Ordinary's peeling solution. This is 30% AHA, 2% BHA. So it's double the amount of AHAs as this one. This one is not for everyone. And I have sensitive skin, but you guys, I can still use this. Granted, I don't even leave it on 10 minutes. I might leave it on 8 minutes, but I feel like my entire face has been resurfaced. I consider it a peel. So I don't go to an esthetician to get a real chemical peel. I'm scared of those. But this one, I will do myself because I can feel it and I know when I can like wash it off if it's too much. They say it's a 10-minute exfoliating facial. I would start with like 3 minutes, go up to 5. I still really like this. I need to buy another one because sometimes my skin just needs it. And I like to have it in my arsenal of products when I need it. The reason I would pick this one over this one is if I was breaking out. Because this has BHA, if I feel congested, and I know I haven't got to BHAs yet, but this one doesn't have BHAs. This one is at 2%. Okay, so we'll get there in a sec next. And then the other treatment, which is famous, is the Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta Universal Daily Peel. Now, this is a 2-step peeling process. It has the first step you put on, and then you like wait a few minutes before you using the second pad. It has 5 AHAs and BHAs. It's got glycolic, salicylic, lactic, malic, and citric. And then the step 2 has vitamin C, retinol, green tea, has all kinds of great hydrating ingredients. And so this is like the epitome of like an at-home peel to really get results. I love the fact they have like stronger versions. This is kind of the original. They even have one for sensitive skin, which I haven't even tried that one. I've only used the original and it works really great. When I'm traveling, I always pack one so that I can do a peel midway through my vacation, because I don't know what it is about like getting on planes or being in a different climate. My skin always is like in need of help. This always gives my skin like the glow back it needs. It's so good. They are pricey, but you can get a small little box like this to try it. If you have very sensitive skin, maybe try the sensitive one. My skin's used to acids because I've been experimenting with all these things for many years, which is why I think I can use the original one, but it has got it all. Okay, it's got it all. Okay, I kind of skipped one, but we're just gonna keep going with all the acid combos real quick since I just talked about a couple that were a bunch of acid combos. Here is a serum for those who want to incorporate glycolic, but are scared to. This is my favorite. You guys have seen me use this like a lip hack. I use this on my lips, I kid you not. This is figure 1. This is the Glycolic Glow Treatment. It's 4% glycolic, which is, I feel like a perfect number for my skin. And it's got PHAs, glycerin, squalane, hyaluronic acid. It's got a ton of hydrating ingredients, but yet it also has a low percentage of glycolic and also has the PHA, gluconolactone, to also help hydrate, but it's in this really great milky serum. It's one of my very favorite. This is a really great acid serum for beginners if you're looking for getting into glycolic. Another one is this brand. You might have never heard of it. Obviously, as a chemist, I have. Chemist Confessions, I have one of their books over there, Skin Care Decoded. This is their kit of their acids so that you can kind of test on your own skin and see which one's right for you. I just love these because these are really great. Like I got the kit and I was like, these are great for traveling. And some of them you can use as like spot treatments as well. Leave it to a chemist to put percentages on the packaging. All right, first up is baby steps. Baby steps because if you're new to exfoliants, you need to go baby steps. 30% gluconolactone, that is the PHA. But then it's got 15% lactic, which is the more hydrating one, okay? And it comes in these cute little dropper, they're like all like serums, so you can just try it and see if your skin likes it. Next one is, I'd say, better for acne prone. Specialist is 18% Mandelic, which Mandelic was the one that's not quite so strong. Then 2% salicylic, 5% niacinamide. This is the one you can use as a spot treatment for blemishes. And then this last one's called Gold Standard. This is going to be your treatment. 30% glycolic, okay? This was a 30%. And then it's got 5% tranexamic acid, which is the one for dark spots. So these say that you can just like use them as a serum, or you can mix a drop in with your serum, a different serum, so you can kind of try it. I love having the whole set to kind of use whatever my skin needs at the moment. Great way to try different acids and see what your skin thinks about it. Let's go weaker to stronger. Like I said, I love a good pad. I feel like there's something about an exfoliant pad that I can kind of just cleanse, use the pad, and hydrate, and I'm done. And I feel like the pads also give that physical exfoliation. So if you don't know, a pad, and even if it's not super rough, even putting something on a cotton round is gonna give at least a little bit of physical at the same time, because you're kind of gonna be like rubbing that dead skin off. And so I like being able to use pads, and I like being able to see kind of like which ones are soft or which ones are scratchy and which ones my favorites are. So this one you might have heard of. This is First Aid Beauty, the Facial Radiance Pads. This one is mostly lactic, okay? And then it's also got glycolic, and it also has several fruit extracts. So this one's a great one if your skin can tolerate both glycolic and lactic. They say it's designed for sensitive skin. I couldn't use this daily, but I could definitely use this one multiple times a week. Now this next one's one of my very favorites, but it is strong in my opinion. This is the Advanced Resurfacing, and I say that, daily, it says daily Reveal Exfoliating Pads by Strivectin. Talk about all of it. Multi-acid blend, it says right on the front. AHA, BHA, PHA, and TXA. TXA is tranexamic acid. That's the one for dark spots. The reason I like this one is because it's mostly glycolic. It also has azelaic acid, which is the one that's good for dark spots, and rosacea. It has tranexamic acid for the dark spots. Gluconolactone is the PHA. Then it does have two that are technically the salicylic acid, which we're getting into next. That is the one that can dissolve grime from your pores. So if I'm breaking out and I want to do a pad, this is what I'm going to grab. It has a salicylic acid derivative, and it has willow bark extract, which is the natural version of salicylic acid. So this one is really good. I feel like the next day my skin always is very glowy. Last but not least, let's talk salicylic acid. Is the only BHA. I feel like it's always easier to talk about BHAs because I'm like, there's only one, and it doesn't have all these different kinds. Now, there are different derivatives, and so we'll talk about that. But the main one you hear about is just salicylic acid. BHA, anytime you see the word BHA, this is the best if you have oily skin, acne-prone skin. If you're looking to unclog pores, decongest, it is not going to be for dry skin, sensitive skin, or if you have dark spots. But it is anti-inflammatory, which is also why it's great for even acne blemishes. So it can kind of clear out congested pores, but it's gonna help bring down the inflammation as well for those active breakouts. This one is probably, so the most famous, I only have the little guy because again, this isn't best for my skin, is the Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. Okay, this one is got a cult favorite. Some people hate it, some people love it. If you're acne prone, you probably love it. This, in my opinion, is its cheaper little sister. It's practically the same thing, but it's by Naturium. If I would pick this one. It's gonna work the same way. Percentage is the same. 2% salicylic acid is what's considered to be percentage you need for acne. This one is a leave-on exfoliant formulated with encapsulated salicylic acid, and it also has fruit acids. So it's got some enzymes to also help speed skin cell turnover, but it has that power to unclog pores. Now, these tend to be a little drying for me. This one is one of my favorites that is a little bit better if you tend to get dried out by salicylic acid. And this is Alpine Beauty's Pore Perfecting Liquid with 2% BHA and borage. So this is kind of like the natural version. It doesn't dry me out nearly as bad. I don't know what it is about salicylic acid that drives me out, but my skin just doesn't love it. So the next best thing is Glycolic. I love this. If I need a BHA now, this is the one I grab. So Glycolic is a BHA toner. It's got this biphase. It's kind of like a milky toner, but it has all these hydrating ingredients in it. And something about this formulation, I can use multiple times a week if I'm breaking out, and I feel like I can clear my pores. So I typically, after I kind of clear my pores, if I feel like they're congested, I will grab this or this if my skin is feeling a little bit more dry, to kind of keep congestion at bay. This one is such a game changer. I don't know what sorcery they put in this, but it is worth every penny. A lot, and I feel like I've barely put a dent. So again, it's just a toner you can use on a cotton pad. So good. Now, if you don't get dried out with salicylic acid, you might be able to use this every morning if you have acne prone skin. Before I discovered Glycolic, I was a K-Beauty BHA fan, still am, because in Korean beauty skincare, they don't put salicylic acid. They use betaine salicylic. Weaker, not quite so strong, but also not quite so irritating or drying. So I wondered why I always loved this toner so much until my daughter stole it. I had to go get this from her room. And the reason why I also recommend this one for teenage skin, as opposed to all the other BHA toners out there, which are salicylic acid, this one has that derivative, so it's not as strong, and their little teenage skin can handle it. And this one is so hydrating for me, and I love it. And it also has PHAs, right? So a very gentle exfoliation, very gentle unclogging of the pores. This one is great for acne prone skin, or if you have skin like mine, I love it. Another option is gonna be this CosRx. This is the AHA BHA Clarifying Treatment Toner. And this one also, same type of ingredients. These are going to be gentle, yet still clear out your pores. So sometimes I just spray this on a cotton round, keep my nose unclogged once I clear it out. All right, so what about for all my girlies who are maybe a little bit more acne prone and want kind of everything? They want the mature skin, they want hydrating, they want gentle, like I found a serum that has everything and is so well formulated. Let's go in order. It has, the first acid that's in it is gonna be the lactic acid. Then it has willow bark extract, okay, so the natural version of the BHA. Then it has glycolic. It also has PHA, gluconolactone, and that Saccharomyces ferment with a load of other stuff as well. Now, this is not something I can technically use every day. but it also even has peptides for anti-aging. It's a really great formulation, and it's a serum. So this is designed to keep your pores clear and yet also for texture. And this is the In-Beauty Pore Refine Pore and Texture Serum. AHA, BHA, acid blend, and peptides. It is got it all. So I'd say if you're looking for something that does everything, this would be my choice. And it's just this nice kind of like lotion serum texture that I feel like is like so hydrating at the same time. I don't know. Oh, it's one of my favorite formulations. So there you go. Do you think I gave you enough options? I hope that was helpful and not confusing. I feel like acids are a little overwhelming, especially when you call them acids. And I think it can be really hard if you don't know what acid you're looking at or looking for your skin type, or what percentage it is in a certain product. Like, do you know exactly what kind? Like, yeah, it says BHA, but like, I didn't know until I looked up the ingredients what specific BHA was in this. So if this helps you at all, let me know. Remember to check your labels. If you have an acid and it's too strong, or you don't know why it's not working for you, don't understand the ingredients, I'm happy to help. That's what I'm here for. If you still need a recommendation after all of this, but which one you should try first, you can tell me more about your skin, what you're looking for, and what you've already tried, what hasn't worked for you. Sometimes that's the best way. Process of elimination, or sometimes it's just finding the right formula that has everything you're looking for in one product, so you're not having to use a ton of different ones. Don't forget, low and slow, try it at night once a week. You can always build up from there. Make sure you're not feeling sensitive the next day. It is important to always assess your skin in order to figure out what's gonna work for you, what is and what isn't working for you. Hope that helped you pick the perfect exfoliant for you. If you need any help picking a suggestion, just let me know. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Love you.